All right, welcome back, watch fans. Today we're talking about FP Journe, which is really, I think it's kind of at an interesting point in time where FP Journe is. I mean, the prices are going absolutely insane. I mean, it's unbelievable but true. And unlike certain tomato cans, some hubcap thieves that tell you the watch market is dead, the prices of FP Journe they keep going one way, which is up. Now this is, by the way, I was shocked because I haven't been following this, but even a basic shitter watch, which is essentially their quartz watch, I can't believe this. It's selling for apparently close to six figures, 80 grand, 90 grand. That's their Elegant, which is I think it's an ugly watch. It looks like crap, but it's selling for close to 100 grand. Now, the thing is, there are other watches. I mean, obviously they have the analog watches, or is that the mechanical watches, which is really kind of that's the focus of this discussion. But we're going to be talking about this guy, Watch Eric, who's another one of these mooch bum dealers in Miami, and he did a video on Journe, which I think is interesting because this guy is a mainstream guy. This is the Stevie Wonder. This is the Puerto Rican Stevie Wonder in Miami. With the sunglasses indoors. This guy's like a mainstream dealer. I mean, he sells mostly hype watches, whether it's Rolex, AP, whatever. Mostly, I would say kind of on the higher end of that range. And if he's doing a video about Journe, and I was shocked. I was actually shocked that this guy's actually said that he himself would buy the Elegant, which is a quartz watch. Which, I mean, I think it's a shitter watch. But hey, this Eric Bukiak. I mean, but speaking of Bukiaks, here's the thing I find distressing about FP Journe. There's a number of Bukiaks who've had Journes, which including JJ Bukiak. That's right, we have JJ Bukiak. We got Duke Omar. Duke Omar can't join us live, but okay. He made yes. Very interesting point. I want to mention that. I thought it was actually a very, very interesting video. Because again, this Stevie Wonder, he's a mainstream guy, right? He's a mainstream dealer, but at the same time, he does have, he's actually a collector at heart. I think he's a collector at heart in terms of he's a watch fan at heart. He's not like a guy who's purely in it for them. Well, I think obviously, but he's not like one of these guys who's just, he's actually, I think he's originally like a watch fan. He's a fan. He's a Rolex fanboy, really, is what he is. He likes, the precious metal watches, the usual stuff, the usual Miami hype watches. That's what he likes. And when he mentioned the Elegant, that he's looking at Journe, I was like, wow, this is interesting. I think we're at an inflection point, and the question is, where is FP Journe going from here? Because also you got to realize that FP Journe himself is, the guy's not getting any younger. He's, I think, he's pushing 90 years old. Whatever. He's getting up there in age. And again, he could go for another 20 years, but I think he's in his 60s or 70s. And it's a private company. What is there a succession plan? Like, what is is he going to keep, because he's really the guy, he's the brains behind the whole thing, right? It's really a one man. In theory, what makes, I think, FP Journe unique is that it's like a one-man show, right? You're getting the artisan. It's like, in other words, imagine like, I was going to say Da Vinci, but closer to Rubens. Rubens, the painter, we're talking about the painter. This guy was basically a factory. Rubens was basically a factory cranking out paintings for the, basically the popes, kings. I mean, I wouldn't even say the aristocracy. I mean, really royalty. That was his customer base. His customer base was basically royalty or very, very, at the top end. And this guy was making probably, I would say in today's money, Rubens in his day in the 1600s was making like the equivalent of like probably 50 million a year, like, which is what really a top rank artist could make, like a Damien Hirst or Jeff Koons. These guys are actually pulling in something like 50 million bucks a year on average, right? That's kind of my estimate. I mean, and Damien Hirst is a billionaire by now. Unbelievable, but true. I mean, this guy is, you put a shark in a fish tank and you can make billions, but that's it. So what's interesting is Journe is kind of like, very low production. I mean, the numbers I think are the numbers like, I think it's like 600 watches a year. It's not even 1,000 watches a year. The numbers are very, very low. They have the boutiques and all this. And the question is, obviously he's not making the watches himself. He's not like this guy. What is it? Is it Roger Smith or the English guy? He basically does a knockoff of Breguet. I think it's Roger Smith, right? And I think there was another English guy before him, which was what the hell's his name? Another one of these English watchmakers. But those were truly handmade watches, even bespoke watches, if you want to use that thing. But so the question is, FP Journe, what is it right now? Is it the new Patek? Right? Patek Philippe was always considered like the ultimate watch. Whether it's true or not, but they really had that. That was their market position, the ultimate watch. They always had the high complications, the prestige, all that stuff. And now you've had all these independent watchmakers that have come along in the last, let's call it 20 years, post what's his name? Frank Muller. I mean, Frank Muller was the guy that actually started the whole thing. Frank Muller is really the godfather of independent watchmaking, right? He's the guy, the OG. And some of his handmade watches, beautiful watches. I mean, I think those are actually, in terms of, if we're talking about investment upside potential, early Frank Muller, like we're talking about like early 1990, like 1992, 3, whatever, 91. I think one sold at auction, it was actually a piece unique. I think it was actually pretty reasonable price. It was like 100 grand, 150 grand or whatever. Considering that FP Journes are selling in the millions right now. Who's more important, Muller or Journe? I don't know. I think technically it would be, I would have to say Frank Muller, because he's actually a real innovator. He's the guy that paved the road for all these guys. And at the same time, Muller also, he made it possible. And he's also, again, the guy's an absolute genius. And the stuff that he was doing 20 years ago, I would say is more advanced than Journe. I mean, Journe has done some interesting watches like that Francis Ford Coppola watch, which looks like shit, but it's a very, expensive, very, highly complicated watch, which is that, like, it looks like a hand, looks like a fist, Speaking of fisting. So that's Journe. So the question is, okay, here's what we're going to discuss today. Who really should be buying the watch? Is it for real? Is the hype there? Is the hype for real? Is it going to last? Does it have upside potential? And if so, which watch should you buy? Which watch FP Journe? Which watch? By the way, speaking of Bouquiacs, I mentioned Bouquiacs. JJ Bouquiac, that's right, the JJ watch hangout. That's the JJ Bouquiac. That's that guy, the Bouquiac with all the deadbeats on the show. To tell you how desperate FP Journe was only a few years ago, they sold a watch to that lowlife. That's right. I mean, just I think at a discount. I mean, also lowlifes and degenerates were buying FP Journes a few years ago, like with like a 30% discount. They couldn't give away those watches, honestly. And what happened is Watchbox or was it Govberg? Those are the guys that really put FP Journe on the map. They really paved the way. And of course, what happens is I think they had the exclusive, or they were the dealer. And then of course, Journe, being the scumbag, took it away. And now I think what they're doing, the boutique only, whatever it doesn't matter. And now Govberg is spruiking De Bethune, which is a garbage watch. Now FP Journe, I think, is actually kind of an interesting watch. But let's see what watch, Eric. Let's see what this tomato can has to say.
Buying, selling, and trading watches. But that doesn't mean that I haven't been following very closely the brand FP Journe. First thing I want to say is I love the brand. I think it's one of the few independents, part of the independent mob, that has been able to break out and completely transcend and make their own lane. I feel like a lot of the independent brands still are kind of like insider baseball. They're not definitely.
Interesting point. Okay, he's, the guy's on the money. I think, look, if you're talking about, whatever, there's a bunch of these independent brands. You got, I'm just throwing stuff that just comes up. MBNF, you got, I was going to say Urwerk, I don't know if it's the same thing, but it's not this. Then you have, what's his name? You got the new guy. It's that French guy who's not really a watchmaker, but he's, what's his name? He does beautiful watches. We did a thing on the show. What the hell is his name? Illikamp. He does, but it's kind of like a Journe type of thing. Then you get a bunch of these guys. But it is kind of, again, it's kind of inside baseball, whereas Journe is a relatively mainstream. I mean, meaning like people know about it, they're out there, there's watches on the market, right? So it's been around a while. There's a history to it. I don't want to say it's mainstream, but it's it's not a hidden. It's not like one of these brands that only 5 people heard of. It's Roger Smith, for example. Roger Smith, 3 people know about Roger Smith. And again, I think, now I would say this, I think Roger Smith is highly overrated. I mean, the guy basically is making knockoffs of Breguet, and he's doing it by hand. Okay, God bless. So what else? I mean, I don't know what makes it special, but okay. FP Journe is really doing, I mean, he's an innovator. There's no question this guy's an innovator. The question, though, is what about the aesthetics of it? The aesthetics. Is this look going to last? Is this going to have staying power? Is this going to look good 20 years from now, or is it going to look hokey? Is this, so I'm saying, is this a generational opportunity? It's almost like you're saying, like, okay, hey, I was, it's kind of like Basquiat. Listen, I'm not saying but it's kind of similar, right? You could have bought a Basquiat painting for 20 grand in the early 80s. I mean, it was 10 grand at retail, right? You could have bought it for 10 grand at retail. And I forgot, who was this dealer? Was it Tony Shafrazi? Or I think it was Tony Shafrazi, actually. But you could have bought a Basquiat for 10 grand at retail, right? But of course, the production was limited, just like Journe, right? I mean, how many paintings can the guy make? Even when he was high on, whatever he was doing all sorts of drugs. I mean, he was doing, I think he was doing heroin, coke, everything. I mean, he was a busy guy, but he was a very, very productive guy when he was working. But how many paintings could Basquiat crank out? Not enough. So there was a resale market. I think back in the day, in the 80s, the retail price was 10 grand. But there was a hype in the early 80s, and Basquiats were probably going for 2, 3, 4 times the retail, maybe, right? 50 grand, maybe. What's interesting is, but after he died, right, in the late 80s, by the early 90s, in 1992, you could have bought a Basquiat for 50 grand. A really good one, like a nice, good size with the right colors, the right theme, with the reds, the yellows, the good colors, right? For 50 grand. Today, that painting is $20 million, right? So the question is FP Journe kind of like that type of opportunity where it's a generational opportunity? Is it a generational opportunity? Is this thing going to increase, 100x? Should you buy a Journe today for 100 grand? Is it going to be worth $10 million? in 20 years. Is that possible? I don't know. I mean, is it impossible? Again, I have no axe to grind here. I have no position in whatever. We're going to find out. Let's discuss. I don't think it's impossible. Well, it might be, it's a little crazy, but again, you got inflation, all that, but I'm just saying it's food for thought, Although, again, let's reiterate, it is, it's not made by the guy himself. There's a production line, et cetera, although it is low production. I think it's 600 pieces, 800 pieces a year, which is, let me see. Think of it. Let's say Basquiat would crank out 50 paintings a year. He was probably doing 50 paintings a year, maybe 100 works of art if you count everything. Whereas a guy like a Picasso would be cranking out a painting a day. I mean, the guy was 24 hours working. I mean, plus everything else. So I think FP Journe is closer to like the Picasso thing, which is, more production, more additions, etc. But still, kind of in that same thing. Not. By the way, it's not a crazy. I wouldn't say that's a crazy comparison because, I think Picasso did like 10,000 original works of art, meaning paintings and drawings, and other, things by his own hand. Roughly 10,000 pieces. And again, the guy was active for 70 years, right? No, maybe more. He did maybe possibly more. And then, of course, you have the multiples. You got the prints. You got the ceramic. The guy was a factory, basically. But so the comparison to Journe is not, yeah. Oh, we got the green rush. We got our show sponsor. Artists die, do watches. Well, the interesting thing is, that's interesting. The brand continues. The question is, okay, so here's the thing. After Journe dies, who's going to continue? Apparently, they have like a whole plan in place, production, everything. The guy is actually very organized. He's a real good businessman, very organized. So I'm sure for a number of years, it's going to keep going. My only question is, will the look be relevant? Will this look still be relevant to people in 20 years? I don't know what the answer is. Quality-wise, look at this. It's beautiful.
Out there in hype. And I think that's what most of the independent watch buyers like. They want something different. That's
the watch, they want something different, right? So here's the thing, right? What's happening in the market today, because this is a first world problem. It's a first world problem, right? What do you do? What do you do after you have, I don't know, let's say you have a $500,000 worth of watches, $1 million worth of watches. You got all the Pateks, you got the APs, you got whatever, you got all the stuff, right? And then, you go to these sassy watch meetups, you're hanging out with these low-life watch meetup people and everything. And you're getting really into the hobby, so to speak, and you're going to, maybe even you go to the Watches and Wonders in Geneva for, some the grooming stuff. The question is, what is the watch? Because, there's two schools of thought. There's those guys who want to kind of flex, and then there's actually the real collector. I'm thinking of like a Bill Sanders. Like Bill Sanders, that's the Watch Art side channel. That guy I look at as a real collector. Now, I think he's got a horrible taste in watches. This guy's got horrible taste. The weirdest fucking watches. But he's a real watch collector. He's into the mechanics of the watch, the horology. He's into the horological aspects, not the aesthetics. He's got a horrible taste, but he buys it purely for the horology aspect, the whole story, right? I'm on the other hand, obviously, again, my thoughts, which I've said before, is, looks first. And of course, you want it backed up by some, respectable horology. I think Patek is respectable enough, etc. AP, even a Rolex. No, listen, nothing wrong with a Rolex. you're not going to impress anybody, but, fine watch. But at some point, who's buying the watch? I think you got two people. You got the Bill Sanders type of guy. You got like your Bill Sanders, and then, which is I think that's their core base. And Eric talks about this in the video. There's like a core base of their collectors. They're like real serious people. And then you got these Bukiaks. You got the JJs of the world. You got JJ Bukiak. You got these various lowlives in Miami who basically, they just want to flex that they have an FP Journe. They want to basically brag, hey, look at me. I got something different. And they don't know anything about the horizon. They don't care. They don't know. They just know that it's rare. And or that guy, Kevin O'Leary. That's the guy. Kevin O'Leary is a piece of shit. You know, that guy basically wants, basically his philosophy is collecting. We were doing a video. We didn't have time to get it. I think basically the Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, his watch collecting philosophy is, okay, I want a watch so I can impress people. Like, it's really basically, he buys watches so he can flex on, I don't know, other people in the, like, you know, it's like a branding thing partially, which kind of makes sense, actually. There is a, you know, logic, because the guy's basically a whore. He's a prostitute. He'll basically, for a little bit of cash, he'll lend his name to any kind of scam, any kind of promotion. I mean, the guy's a low-life piece of shit. Again, he's involved with, like, I don't know, half a dozen Canadian pump and dump penny stocks where he lends his name as like the director. He goes on the board of directors, and they give him a bunch of stock, and then they can say that, you know, Kevin O'Leary is involved, and then he dumps the stock in the market. And but that's part of the grift, right? So, but part of that is creating an image, and I think this Kevin O'Leary is actually pretty good at creating that image, even though his image, you know, he's got those shitty black suits which are like made in China. I mean, everything about him is low class. I mean, he basically is a piece of shit, but the guy is very smart in terms of, he's very disciplined about, you know, creating a brand. If you look at the other people on that show Shark Tank, you know, again, I think they're mostly like just a bunch of Bukiaks, whether it's that Mark, what's his name, Cuban, or is it Damon Dash? You know, the black guy, the music guy. What's his name? Damon Dash, I think, is it? Then you got, what's her name? The real estate lady. And then, you know, they got like a rotating, they got one female. They got the real estate lady, the old one, Corcoran, and then you had the younger one who was actually smarter and better. The QVC lady, what was her name? She actually, I think, is actually pretty good. And then you got that guy, another one of these Canadian Bukiaks, this other guy, Robert something or other. Yeah, they got a revolving cast of Bukiaks. But I think in terms of all those guys, I think O'Leary has really used that as a real springboard. He really milked that show for marketing, branding. It really worked very well for him. I mean, that was a great business move. Again, yeah, he had some minor success. I mean, nothing like, you know, whatever. But now he positions himself as like Mr. Business Genius, font of wisdom. Again, the red straps. I mean, listen, the red strap thing is, again, the guy's a whore. He's an attention whore. He's a whore in terms of branding, you know, licensing his name for anything, and whoring is just an attention whore. It's all tied in together, which is actually, you know, very smart, because it works out. I mean, it makes money. Hey, listen, what do they say? If it makes dollars, it makes sense, right? So I have to give him full credit, even though he's a low-life piece of shit who killed 2 people with his boat, or I don't know, maybe his wife. We don't know. We don't know the details, but basically, he was on a boat in Toronto, and he ran over 2 people at night, and they're dead. We don't know if he was drinking. His wife was. We don't know the details, but nobody went to jail. Allegedly, it was an accident. The question is, what watch was he wearing? Was he wearing an FP Journe when he ran over those 2 people? That's my question. But all right, let's get into the FP Journe story.
Not in the norm and not as common. But FP Journe is that one brand that has done something completely different. I'm not even sure right now at this moment if any other brand has done what they have done just yet.
You call it lazy, I call it optimized. My AI employees do more in a day than I used to do in a week. I've tried the whole hustle.
What makes FP Journe so great is artistic brilliance, technical innovation, and ridiculous scarcity. That is what makes it so prestigious. That's what people...
Okay, so there's the prestige factor, which basically, again, if you want to impress people, then you could say, okay, I got an FP Journe. Okay. By the way, that is kind of a thing. I would say 70% of the market, the people who buy it in the open market, are buying it based on the hype. They want to have a hype watch. That's that's what it is.
Want, and that's what they attract to. But the bigger question that I have seen in the last year, and especially in the last 6 months, is FP Journe headed in a bubble? Is it a bubble? Is the whole hype around it a bubble? That's what I want.
Is it a bubble? Interesting question. The prices are crazy. Again, 100 grand for a quartz shitter? Crazy.
I have a conversation about.
By the way, and the retail price is I think 15 grand. So 15 grand for the Elegant, which is a quartz shitter watch, and it sells for like 80 grand plus.
All right, here's the deal. I have said in the past that, and I have been highly criticized about it, and I get it. I can see why. That I feel that one of the most overhyped watches is FP Journe. But allow me to explain. What I mean by when I say that, to me, it's one of the most overhyped brands. I'm not saying that they're not great. I'm not saying that it's trash with overinflated prices. I just feel that there's some type of artificial manipulation going on with the prices. But we're going to discuss that right now, and let's take it from the top. Number one, they are the masters, in my opinion, in these independent watchmakings. The watches that they make, nobody else does. They have so.
Yeah, listen, I agree with all his points. I actually agree with all the points he's making. Is the market manipulated? That's a conspiracy theory. I don't know. But I mean, there's definitely, I think the watch box people are very involved in the market. And how many watches do you need to control the market? I would say, by the way, it's not hard to control the market. I mean, all you need is, how many watches are on the, there's not that many on the market to begin with. If you can inventory, let's call it 50 pieces, you're in a position to move the market. 50 pieces is not even a lot of money. We're talking about $10 million in capital. And Watchbox, I think they raised a couple hundred. I mean, they have, I think, a couple $100 million in inventory. So it's nothing for them. 10 million is not a big number.
Such unique products that I just don't really think anybody else could touch them in that sense. What they have accomplished, really hard to replicate. Their following is definitely cult-like. Another thing I want to say is the buyers of FP Journe are very specific, okay? Very specific guys. Usually, they're very educated, very intelligent guys, and they have been around the block. And sure, there are guys that...
Yeah, I agree. Look, like Bill, I would say Bill Sanders, that's kind of your prototypical FP Journe buyer. So like Bill Sanders, yeah, he's like a weird guy, very smart guy, he's definitely made money, right? Bill Sanders, I don't know what business he was in. I think he was flying in cocaine from Colombia into Miami, because he did have, we know that he did have a Cessna. He was flying. I think he had I think he said he was an instrument rated IFR, instrument rated pilot. That's the guy's like a Renaissance man. Bill Sanders is kind of like your classical, original first wave of FP Journe buyers. Those are the guys who bought at retail, probably at a discount.
Like FP Journe that never owned a Rolex and never cared to. But FP Journe definitely is a different league of its own.
Look how good that looks. I mean, that looks pretty good. Now, would I buy one? No, I don't think I would. To me, it's just like, aesthetically, like, what the fuck is it? First of all, the tourbillon, it doesn't, what's the point of a tourbillon? Again, I don't get the whole tourbillon thing. It's useless. It's not. I'm not really that much into the mechanical horology. This watch is basically really for people who want to they're really, or in theory, it should be all about the whole, horological story. It's basically it's a real watch for people who want true artisanal watchmaking at most innovative, and this is extremely innovative. It doesn't do anything for me. I mean, actually, I think they're kind of cool. I don't think I would ever be interested in buying one. I mean, unless it was 20 grand or something. Would I pay 30 grand for this watch? I even have to think about it. I'm not attracted to the aesthetics that much. I think it's interesting, and I don't think I would, because it has no practical purpose. It's just a time only watch. That's all it is. You got time and you got a tourbillon. What's the point of that? You got a whole giant doll filled with. I mean, it's a guy who wants gimmicks. They want to look at all that stuff. You Google it. It's right. I don't even know what that means. I don't know what that means.
And it's because of that I start to wonder about the overly inflated hype prices on the gray market. So when I say that I feel that it's one of the most overhyped watches, I feel that it has to do with the hype prices in the gray market. And the reason I say this is because I just don't really see them transacting.
Dear Renewal by Anderson, and we're proud not to be like most companies.
Meaning he doesn't, you know, there's a price, but he doesn't see trades actually taking place. You know, there's an ask, there's a bid and ask, or at least an ask. There's an ask, but we don't see the volume. We don't see the actual trades.
I've sold many FP Journes in my career, and very few guys walk in and pay over retail 6, 7, 8 times over retail for a watch like that. A lot of them are usually very aristocratic, very classy dudes, very smart, intelligent people. They will work the boutiques.
Yeah, I think that he's right. I think it's basic. Again, I'm using Bill Sanders as the archetype, or I would say maybe like a more polished, but it's kind of like that type of guy. It's really somebody who really is into the mechanics of the watch. They've been into watches for quite a while. It's not like a guy who, you know, yesterday he bought a Patek, and that it's somebody who's really they're really interested in the horology. The horology thing is a big thing. That's the thing. And yeah, it definitely, I would say, obviously obviously they got to have some money, right? And it's an older crowd. It's not like we're not talking about rappers. There's no rappers buying FP Journe.
They will get in line, they will wait, and they will get one at retail. Most of the guys that I have talked to that have FP Journe were able to get them at retail. And I have been able to.
Interesting. Look at that. So what he's saying is, this is very interesting. So most of the people who have FP Journes, and by the way, this guy knows a lot of people. Eric knows a lot of people, right? Or watch collectors. He's in Miami. You know, he knows a lot of watch collectors. Everybody has got him at retail. So basically, and this is, I think, the point. If you can't get it at retail, then basically, you know, you shouldn't be buying it. I think that's the takeaway. If you can't get it at retail, it basically means you're like a boukiak. You know, you're like a boukiak, and you know you're not really the client. You're really not. And by the way, nothing wrong with that. It's just that's the way it is, right? I mean, it's fine. And the watch, what's so fucking great about the watch? I mean, it's kind of cool. It looks like some steampunk thing. Are you going to get laid with wearing this watch? No. Okay. If you go to a strip club wearing this watch, are you going to get wholesale prices? Are you going to get these girls come to you? Like, you know, because again, you know, it's like, which may be a bad thing also, right? Like, if you're wearing a date 40, okay? You're wearing a date 40, you walk into a strip club, especially if it's, you got gem set or whatever, you got, whatever gem set Rolex, you know, you're going to have a whole line of strippers coming to you, or an AP, you know, something recognizable. AP probably because they heard of it, right? But definitely Rolex. Patek, probably not. Maybe a Nautilus because I think they've heard of it from like rap songs or something like that. But if you wear an FP Journe, yeah, they're going to think it's a Timex, all right? So the point is, you're not going to get laid, right? I'm using the stripper thing as kind of a, you know, just as an extreme example. I'm talking about like normal women, okay? You know, you're around like normal women, like, you know, normal, you know, civilians, not professional prostitutes. You know, you're not gonna pick up girls wearing an FP Journe. I'm telling you that. I guarantee you this. You know, remember we had that guy on the show from Atlanta. He was like a Chinese guy, but he had the black accent, which is very weird. He's a Chinese guy that sounded like he's from the hood, right? And he lives in Atlanta, and he said, and this guy is like, he says, yeah, I wear the Breitling and a Rolex. And that his thing is he walks around the mall in Atlanta, and he basically, part of the thing is he wants a watch that, you know, will get women's attention. And he has said, yeah, like, you know, again, this guy is like he's kind of interesting guy. But he, you know, and he said pretty much what we most know. Like a lot of these gold diggers or whatever it is, they'll know a Rolex. They get the Rolex. They know what it is. You know, they know what that is, right? So they'll think, okay, this guy, is worthwhile, spending some time with. FP Journe, you're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to get anywhere. There you go. Especially if it's 40 millimeter. It's got to be 40 millimeter.
Sell every now and then a couple in the gray market, but not for these grotesque prices. So here's my deal. This is the bone that I have to pick with FP Journe. Let's start with the Elegante. Now, I think the Elegante is cool as shit. I mean, do I want one?
I don't get this watch. What's so cool about this? I don't get it. It's a quartz watch. It's a quartz watch, basically. Now, again, the list is like 15 grand apparently, which, it seems like a good price. I mean, considering the brand, not that it's a quartz, but they're selling for 80 grand, 100 grand.
I mean, it's not on my.
It looks, the watch actually looks like garbage. It really does.
Immediate hit list, especially with the crazy prices that they have right now. The Elegante is a breakthrough in innovation. I think at one moment, Journe said, you know what? We're going to make a cheaper model. We're going to make it quartz. But on top of that, he says, we're going to make the coolest quartz model probably that ever lived. Unless we're counting in classic Casios and stuff like that from the 90s or 80s. I think those are low-key girl pieces. But they went ahead and designed this amazing piece of machinery, which, again, there's where they lead by innovation, cool factor. Has a retail $17,000. For quite some time there, those watches were selling in the gray market for double retail, 30K. Look, I don't see anything wrong with that. I think when you compare to a Daytona, I love having the Daytona as the comparison. If a Daytona retails for $14,000 to $16,000 and they were going at one moment for $50,000 and they're overly mass produced.
Yeah, I agree. Unpaved. Oh, we got a new person on the channel. I don't think we've ever seen this guy. Look, we have a lot of aristocrats on this channel. Look, we got, we know that there's a lot of, it's like the who's who. This channel is, there's a lot of people, lurkers on this channel, a lot of Forbes 400 members, a lot of, world leaders. I think even the Pope, the guy from Chicago, that Pope Leo, I think he even comes to this channel because, it's in English, right? So, he's definitely on this channel. But we haven't seen this guy, Unpaved. This is a new person on the channel. But yeah, this is completely right. High horology, Bill Sanders. That's the guy. I think it's degrading. I think it's kind of degrading if you have to buy a FP Journe on the gray market. It means you're not the guy, and which basically means that you need to work on yourself, as they say. Yeah, you got to work on yourself. I don't know, go to get a PhD in English literature or something, or I don't know, and spend time kissing up to the boutique people, whatever, and make yourself, I don't know, $20 million or so, whatever, and then you're gonna be like the customer. Maybe it doesn't have to be, but let's say at least 10 mil, right? At least 10 mil you should be doing. I mean, if you're spending 100 grand for a watch, you should be at least good for 10. But if you're not, then it's fine. It's a self-selecting thing.
Forget about the fact that it's an automatic movement for a second, but it's a watch that's in, so many of them have been made, and there's so many out there. For a piece like an FP Journe Elegante, which pretty much they make, what, 300 a year? I think that's the watch that they most make, the Elegante.
They make 300 of these quartz shitters.
I don't think it's a big deal to pay double retail, even triple retail. See, the main watch that costs.
Okay, I don't get it. I don't get that. I wouldn't pay anything for that watch. Again, who are you going to impress with that watch? I mean, like fucking weirdos, a bunch of watch weirdos. And I mean, again, you buy that watch because, you want to flex, right? So who are you going to flex? You're going to flex on, watch nerds. I mean, nobody's impressed by that watch except, somebody who's really deep in the rabbit hole, and they're not, that's like not going to get you anywhere. It's not, it's just not a good use of money, basically.
I was going to do this video right now is the fact that the Elegante right now is going for 100K.
Wow, I think that watch, that piece of shit in plastic is 100K. That tells you the market is a bubble. Now, okay, so let's talk about, here's my thought. Okay, so so the question is this thing here to stay? And I'm open to the punters, what do the punters think? I think he's going to be considered a pretty important watchmaker. Are the prices going to go to the moon? I don't think so. I think they're going to kind of like, it's going to be, I think there's always going to be a demand, and it's going to be like, They're going to increase or whatever, but it's going to be kind of like its own niche market. It's going to be its own niche market, basically. Because when you think about it, the first thing you got to realize is the look of the watch, right? The look. And okay, so.
Hi, I'm Gabby, co-founder of Magic Spoons. We grew up loving those sweet, crispy treats, but realized they're packed with sugar and empty carbs. We went on a journey to recreate that.
Those are not the ones I'm talking.
Okay, so you got this. Sold for, holy shit. Oh, this was some rare version. Okay, so it sold for $1 million and change. Okay, it was some crazy thing. It was an outlier. But basically, the typical variation of it, whatever. I don't think it's an attractive watch, and especially that it's on a bracelet. The bracelets are ugly. The watch is, I don't know. I don't get it. What I do have to give them credit for is the colors are pretty good. The colors are actually, whoever designs the colors or picks those colors out, they're well done. They're really well done. Like this guy really, it's well thought. It's like, it's really thought out. It's just the watch itself, it's got that very steampunk look. I hate the hands. I really hate those hands he does. That's my pet peeve. The hands I find ugly. The whole steampunk thing I think is, it's like this very pretentious artisanal whatever. And on top of that, too much writing on the dial. FP Journe, what is it? Invented FSC, which by the way, this guy's a pretentious prick. He's a pretentious cocksucker is what he is. And there's too much writing on the dial. It's like, listen, Rolex puts a lot of content on the dial. Too much writing. They've got like 5 lines of copy. You don't need any of that shit. This is like, again, I get it. You're back, 80 years ago, 50 years ago, even 30 years ago. I guess it was kind of cool, like whatever you wanted to tell people, like, okay, here's what the watch has, this and that, whatever. But today, everybody knows what the watch is. You don't need to have 5 lines of text on the dial. So there's too much text on the dial. It's too pretentious. I actually don't think. Okay, so you know what? I'm going to back up. I apologize. I made the comparison to Basquiat, or I said Picasso. I'm not saying this guy is up in that type of work. I'm just saying in terms of like if you're looking at production levels or whatever. I'm not saying this guy is like some sort of artist of that. Obviously the guy's an artist in his own right, but he's not. Look, he's churning out. He's got a bunch of Chinese kids in his factory in Geneva that are making these watches. That's the reality. He's not doing it himself. And the design of the watch is just, it's not for, it really is not for everybody. And it's not a classical look. And it's not a look that's timeless. There's nothing, there's nothing really about it that's, there's nothing beautiful about it. It's not a beautiful watch. In other words, aesthetically speaking, objectively speaking, it's not a beautiful watch. Okay, it's sort of like, for that type of money, you want a supermodel. Okay, it's like, we're not talking about Cindy Crawford. I'm just throwing a name because I use that as kind of as a frame of reference. Supermodels. I don't know, whoever is the hottest woman on the planet today. I don't know if there's no supermodels today, but like, let's say it was Cindy Crawford in her heyday, in 1989, 1990. Okay, that's Cindy Crawford is by any standard a beautiful woman, or any of those girls, absolutely beautiful, right? And then you look at one of these like funky looking ones, like a funky one, like I'm trying to think like a funky one. There's some funky looking models that they look funky. They have a funky look, but they're still, they're making a lot of money, but it's more of like a thing. It's not, so that's what Journe is. Journe is kind of the funky model. It's like a girl, like something like her eyes might be spread too wide and like the eyes are too far apart, or, her nose might be too big, or, she's flat chested, or, she's got like, she's built like a boy, you know what I mean? Like she's just like a rail thin. She's got no hips, no breasts. I mean, like, no ass. That's not really what you want, right? That's like, but she might be a very successful model. That's what FP Journe is basically. FP Journe is that like, funky type of whatever. I'm trying to think of a funky model who was very successful. Who was that? There was a few that were like very famous. It'll come. Think of the Kardashian girls. Listen, the ones that were from Bruce Jenner, the ones that have the Bruce Jenner DNA, they're pretty good looking. I mean, they're like, and they've all had plastic surgery for sure. But okay, so the tall one, the tall Kardashian, the tall one, the funny looking one. I think she might be the oldest one. She's not really good looking. But she's making what, 10 million a year from however, I don't know. Okay, unpaid. There we go. Unpaved. Oh, unpaid. Why don't you hop on Unpaid? Yeah, why don't you hop on the channel? We need some punters here. We need some punters to hop on the channel and share their pearls of wisdom. Okay, better high horology with better founders. Better founders. Why would you say they're better founders? I don't know I really don't know any. I don't know their backstories. I don't know about any of them. Like I really don't. I mean, I know the names, but I don't know, like, the backstory, blah, blah, blah. And by the way, I think all their watches, all these guys that you have here, you couldn't pay me to wear those watches. I mean, Philippe Dufour, I think they're very boring. I mean, I don't even know why they're, now the Recepi thing, again, very unusual. Again, not my thing. Who's the guy there's a new guy, there's like a French kid. He's like, he does a beautiful watch. He does like 100 pieces a year. It's, his name is, what the hell's his name? It's a beautiful watch. It's kind of getting hyped up. Kate Moss. Yeah, Kate Moss. Kate Moss actually. Yeah, kind of like a Kate Moss. Without makeup, Kate Moss. She's actually very striking looking. Like she does have like, I mean, like you understand the whole thing, but she's not like. In other words, if Kate Moss was not famous, if she was like a regular girl on the street, like the Kate Moss face, like she looks like she looks funny looking. But there's something about her that's kind of hot, What the hell is that? Who's Remy Cool? What is that? I can't even Google. I'm too busy. You have to tell me what Remy Cool is. But let's see what he says.
$100K for the Elegante in auction. It makes you really wonder, who bought this watch? Is it really a hardcore collector? I mean, for $100K, you could probably pick up another FP Journe, equally as badass, equally as important. Just makes you want to wonder, is it really a real purchase, or is perhaps some of these big, huge gray market resale corporations, I'm not even going to say one guy, we're talking about these big
conspiracy. He's talking big. We're talking about Watchbox. That's what he's talking about.
Big gray market conglomerates that appear to have a cornering of the FP Journe market in the.
So he said, listen. So Watchbox was the original. They were the original hypers of Journe. They put FP Journe on the map, and they have a huge database of customers. They have a huge database. So they pretty much know. All the potential buyers, or I should say, ready buyers. And think about it. If they're sitting on, Watchbox is sitting on 10 million in inventory. Watchbox is sitting on 10 million in inventory of shitter FP Journes, and if they can buy a quartz watch and spend $100,000, right? They just lifted the value of their whole portfolio of Journe, right? So $100,000. So they go over, they pay $30,000 over or whatever. So for $30,000, they're supporting their whole inventory. By the way, I think they got bank loans, they got whatever. So it's in their best interest to, manipulate the market, to rig the market so that they could support their inventory and not get the margin call, right? They don't want to get the margin call. They don't want, you don't want to have what's his name, little Alfred E. Newman. Alfred E. Newman doesn't want to get the margin call. Oh, really? Man, we get some new people on the channel. Look at this. We got some new people on the channel. We've never had this guy, Winterist. And these people know what they're talking about. This Winterist, we got the Winterist, we got the Unpaved. Who told you that? Who, Watchbox? Or who, Alfred E. Newman told you? Or they got two Alfred E. Newmans there. They got Watchbox has cornered the market on FP Journe and Alfred E. Newman lookalikes.
In the gray market, or maybe are they buying them?
Okay. So Eric is basically saying there's a conspiracy. He's basically saying that Watchbox is rigging the market, and that's what's going on.
Just throwing ideas out there. It seems a little weird to me. Now, some of you folks at home are going to say, well,
imagine bringing your side project to life.
What is this?
Just by thinking about it.
Guys, we need some super chat because we're getting commercials on here because, look, it's hard out there and we can't afford a YouTube thing without commercials. Please consider sending a super chat of at least $500.
Base 44.
Some of these guys have FU money. They don't want to wait in line. They just want to buy these watches.
By the way, that's the wrong type of buyer. That's like the guy who should not be buying it because that's not the buyer. It's kind of like that guy, who really should be buying, Patek or AP. And by the way, let's talk about Patek versus at the high end. What's the okay? So here's the real question. Okay, I want to pose this question to the audience. Here's a real question. Let's talk about a real question. Let's say you have 250 grand. Let's talk about real money. 250 grand, which is legitimate money in the watch game. 250 grand. Do you buy a Journe, or do you buy let's say what kind of Patek can you get for that? I mean, you can get some pretty good Pateks. Or AP. Well, AP I think is a bit of a hype. Let's use the word. Patek I think is more apples to apples because they're both dress watches. And they are very similar demographically speaking. I would say Journe and Patek are kind of close. It's kind of related. Yeah, it's similar. Okay, so if you're going 200, let's say 250 grand. Okay, well, I'll put it this way. Okay, so you have 250 grand. So you're not like a billionaire. You're a guy who's comfortable. You're like whatever. You're not quite. Let's say you probably, if you're paying 250 grand for a watch, you probably have you're probably liquid for 10 mil, roughly. So, you're not up there, but you're doing well, right? So it's not like you have money to just blow whatever. In other words, at that level, you're kind of you don't want to lose the money, right? You don't want to waste the money. So for 250 grand, okay, what watch is going to give you the most bang for the buck? Is it going to be a Patek? And by the way, which Patek, right? There's a couple of, the complications, the dress watches, the perpetual chronograph, minute repeater, you got, or do you buy a Journe? So there's two things. One is upside potential, which is going to which watch can double in value in the next 5 years. And then which watch is going to get you laid? I'm using the word "get you laid" as kind of just an overall say, meaning like, okay, which watch is going to impress people? Meaning, gold digger prostitutes or whatever. People you're dealing with in business. Obviously, if you're spending 250 grand on a watch, you're probably in the in the world of commerce. You're dealing with all sorts of low lives all day. You're going to maybe impress them, right? Are they going to be impressed? Let's say you're okay, for example, we had a guy on the show who's he's an investment banker, and he has he's a young guy. He's like in his 30s, and this guy's crushing it. And he's got a couple of RMs. He's got the AP, and he's also very careful not to wear the RMs to meeting with clients because he's in the healthcare space. More of a conservative. He's dealing with more conservative people. Like, RM might be a little bit like they might think they're overpaying the guy. But can you wear a Patek to that type of meeting? For sure. Journe, for sure. So the question is, okay, so you're, let's say, in that world, right? You're pulling down probably, I don't know, 5 million a year or whatever it is, and 5 billion plus maybe, right? You want to buy yourself a nice watch. Do you go Patek or do you get a Journe? So which watch is going to possibly double in value? And then again, you want to have also the flex factor in the general market. In other words, which watch is going to be recognizable by more, people in your sort of demographic that you want to, network with. Okay. So it's all about, listen, we hate to say this, and we got to be very, very, it sounds very tacky, but that's the whole point. That's why people buy shit. Nobody needs these. I mean, really, seriously, why do people, that's the whole human race, right? Okay, there we go. Transacting. Is that trans as in transgender? 5270. Let's look it up. Let's Google it. What is that? I can't keep these models in mind. Which one is that? 5270. Which one is that? I don't know these models. This is very exact. Oh, here we go. Oh, this is there we go. Oh, look at that. Okay. Oh. Now the question is, that's a bit of a blingy watch, no? You're talking about with a strap. You're talking about with a strap? Or on a bracelet? On a bracelet, that's a little bit flashy. But you know what? Compared to Journe, they also do those. Yeah. Oh, okay. I think it comes with a strap. No, there's a version of this with a strap, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Or I should say, it comes with a strap. Okay. So I'm not crazy about their bracelet. I don't know. Like, it's a little bit. I mean, actually, it's I'm okay. I think it could be kind of cool. Like, I think if it does have something to it. I think it might be a little bit too. How big is the watch? What is it? This is like 40 millimeter plus 41. Okay, so with this bracelet, with a world time, like I saw, this bracelet with like a world time, or one of the more normal watches, like a 38 millimeter. I think it's kind of cool, but when you go 41, it's kind of a big watch. But the black and rose is very striking. It's a very striking. One of our aristocrats has this watch. Bruce Lee from Hong Kong had. And Duke Omar. Duke Omar has this on a strap with a white dial. He's got on a strap with a white dial. I think that's what he has, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, okay. There we go. The aristocrats. Listen, Winterist, what you're missing is a title in your life. For $4.95 a month, you click that join button and you can become a baron. You too can become a baron. You can become a real aristocrat. And escape the Matrix, escape Bukyakistan, escape Chomostan and Kukistan. Retail. Listen, I think it's a striking watch. You know what I don't like about it? Again, listen, who gives a shit what I like? The hands. I don't like these hands. Like, I don't like these hands. I like dolphin hands. These hands kind of, I don't know. They just don't do it for me. And I don't know, whatever. Listen, I get it. Yeah, by the way, listen, the truth is, Forget about my whatever idiosyncrasies. The fact is, a perpetual calendar chronograph is kind of what Patek is. Kind of, that's their best of breed, right? That's kind of what they're known for. Perpetual calendar chronograph, Patek is kind of always considered as the what's the word I'm looking for? What's the fancy French word? The ne plus ultra, whatever the Latin word. Although I do think, I'm more of a purist. I like clean lines, and I'm just not a chronograph guy. But I have to agree that Patek, for 90% of Patek real collectors, I would say 90% of Patek collectors would tell you that the ultimate Patek is the perpetual calendar chronograph. So like this type of model. Not me, but everybody else. So again. No, listen, you know what I would do? I would tell them, I say, listen, guys, give me some dolphin hands, okay? I'll take the watch. I want the dolphin hands. Here's $1,000. How much could it cost you? Because you give me the dolphin hands that come out of the, they got them in stock. They got dolphin hands lying around in rose gold from the 5140s. What they got a bunch of them lying around. They got a bunch of dolphin hands lying around. You just swap them out. I don't want these fucking hands here. I think the watch would look much better with dolphin hands, honestly. Okay, so this guy is saying that he would get this watch versus an FP Journe. Shit, what kind of FP Journe can you get for $100,000 these days? I don't even know. I mean, I don't know FP Journe, to be honest. It doesn't interest me, whatever, no interest. Okay, here we go. Let's look low to high. What can you get for let's call it the $100,000 range? Let's see what's out there. Okay, so look, I think if you're going to get an FP Journe, just like perpetual calendar chronograph is best of breed with Patek, you got to have a tourbillon. An FP Journe tourbillon is, if you're not going to have an FP Journe tourbillon, you might as well stick with Rolex. These are all garbage. I mean, this is like a basic. This is like a poor man's, Havana, whatever. This is like a poor man's Journe, entry level, to go on the journey, no pun intended. That's your entry level Journe. So $100,000, that's a hard pass. But if we're talking tourbillons, hang on a second. Let's see. What does it cost? What does it cost to get into the Octaloon? Is kind of getting into the, getting there. 130. Okay, so Loon, Platinum, whatever. Okay, I mean, okay, what's the big deal? Okay, you got a moon phase. I don't see the big deal. $130,000. Come on, bro. A torp. Let me see what. So we got to get into. Well, we got to keep going. So this is what you get. I mean, these are kind of. I mean, who wouldn't be impressed? These are not very impressive watches. Oh, Centigraph. I think Bruce Lee has a Centigraph. Yeah, Bruce Lee has, or he had a Centigraph. I think we know another. I think what's his name has a Centigraph. I think that guy we're talking about, the investment banking guy. I think he has a Centigraph. So very busy, Okay, here we go. Now we're talking. Tourbillon, $386,000. Wow, is that the cheapest tourbillon? I mean, how much does a decent tourbillon go, like an entry level? And look at all the text, all the writing. I mean, avec second death, second. You know, too much writing. I mean, it's like the guy is like giving his life story on the dial. Come on. Is this watch worth 300, 400 G's? Ah. So this is a very interesting point. I think the point is basically the base level luxury. So it's kind of like the entry level. It's like the entry level thing. Like it's for like the wannabe guy. It's like the guy who wants to be a player, but he's not there. I mean, it's like he's the guy that basically, pays pays somebody a couple $100 so he can sneak onto their private jet and take a picture inside of him sitting in the chair so he can post it on Instagram. I mean, so the entry level Aquanaut, so they've all rocketed because you have a lot of these bukyaks. You got a bunch of bukyaks out there, who want to flex. They want to have that because they've all been told. I think that's what it is. They've all heard, oh, the Aquanaut, that's the hot thing. Oh, FP Journe, you got it. Oh, wow. I got an FP Journe to impress my friends. And what do you get? You get the basic bitch model. The basic bitch model. Kevin O'Leary. Here's the question. How come Kevin O'Leary ran over 2 people with his boat? He killed 2 people, on the lake in Toronto, right? What is it, the Great Lakes or whatever? I don't know who was behind the wheel. We don't know, him or his wife, but, we know that they were driving the boat and 2 people are dead. The question is, what watch was Kevin O'Leary wearing when he ran over those 2 people? Yeah, I agree. It's the wannabes. It's the bukyaks. It's the JJ Bukyak and it's the bukyaks who go on the Kokistan channel. What happened to that guy? What's his name? The Ochomo channel. The Ochomo. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yes, sir. Sorry, eh? What a shithole country Canada is. What a shithole country. That guy should be. I mean, they should have hung that guy. I mean, really, Kevin O'Leary should have done time in prison. Him or his wife should have been doing time in prison. I'll tell you what really is galling is I saw maybe a year ago or 2 years. So this is this is not too long after he killed those 2 people. There's a video of him on YouTube, done a year ago. He's on a boat in Miami, on a boat in Miami doing a video. So this scumbag is on a boat in Miami doing a video. I mean, shouldn't this guy be a little bit sensitive about, doing videos on boats, when he's known as, a guy who's killed people with his boat? I mean, a little bit of sensitivity. Yeah, it's just tone deaf. Okay, there we go. Listen. Now you're talking. Listen, JLC, you can get some crazy JLCs. You can get Tourbillon. Oh, hang on. Jaeger Tourbillon. Okay, let's just for entertainment purposes, let's take a look. JLC Tourbillons. What can you get? Okay, these are ugly. This is garbage, pure trash. Okay, this is not. I mean, okay, this is getting better. But you can get I think for a little bit of money, you can get a pretty cool watch. pretty cool JLC Tourbillon. The problem is, but here's the thing though. Are you going to impress anybody at one of these sassy watch meetups? Let's say you go to one of these sassy watch meetups, with, you know who we're talking about. We're not going to mention any names. Are you going to impress the other chomos around the table? In other words, you're sitting at a table full of chomos, and are you going to impress them with your JLC Tourbillon? Now this is pretty cool. It's got a sunburst. This is the what is it? Enamel, right? Enamel dial. 40, and it's a big watch, 43 millimeter. Wow, 34 grand. I got to tell you something. Wait a minute, is this a dual time? Wait, I think this is a dual time. This has got to be a dual time watch, right? You got 2 time zones. Or no? Like, what's going on here? Like, why do they have the 20? Is it a dual time or no? No, it's not. Oh, no, it's not. Is it a dual time or no? Let's see. Look at this. I mean, that's I tell you, for 30 grand, 35 grand, that's a pretty serious watch. I mean, I wouldn't wear it because I don't need that, I don't understand the point of it. But if you're into the high horology, like, oh shit, look at this. That's what I'm talking about. It's got the diamonds. Wow. Is this a dual time or not? Oh, and it's got a calendar. It's got the calendar. Okay, now we're making progress. Calendar with diamonds. JLC, the watchmaker's watchmaker. How can you go wrong? Yeah. Is Kevin smoking meth? Who's smoking meth? Okay, this is a plain version of that. Yeah, the white doll is not that impressive, though. Master Tourbillon. Look at that. I mean, I don't know, nothing special, but okay. I think if you go up there, like into the, yeah, there you go, there we go. So you can get into some, okay, I mean, I don't know what this is. What is this? Perpetual Calendar Tourbillon. Okay, now we're talking. Perpetual Calendar Tourbillon. That's actually kind of cool. I mean, if you absolutely must have a tourbillon, why would you need to have a tourbillon is the question, though. How big is the watch? I don't know. Listen, for a perpetual calendar tourbillon versus a FP Journe, what's the better buy? I'm kind of getting into this. This is a pretty reasonable price for like this much. Oh, there's no moon phase. Shit, I just realized there's no moon phase. Oh, look at this. They got the same. It's got a little bit of that FP Journe. What do you call this? Little pyramids. Little pyramid. What is that called? The little pyramid etching. Wait, is that a moon phase? I think there is kind of a moon phase. Oh, there is a moon phase, but you don't see the moon. It's kind of built into that. Wow, that's a very unusual, very unusual. And the clock stopped at 2015, so nobody's worn this in 10 years. Very unusual watch. I mean, 58 grand. Oh wow, there's a whole bunch of them out there. Look at this. How much is it? Is it the same guy selling them in Hong Kong? Oh shit! Here's the moon phase. Oh, there's a different watch. Tourbillon moon phase. How big are these? 42 millimeter. Oh, these are huge. I don't know. You know, it's yeah. Clou de Canadian. Oh yeah, Clou de Paris. Hang on a second. Shit. This is really not bad. Again, they got the beautiful dolphin hands here. Beautiful dolphin hands. Wow. It's funny. I've really never seen these watches. I've never seen these tourbillons. It looks like you can get some pretty decent stuff. Very striking. You know, the thing is, I'm really surprised this watch is not done. What was the retail price on the watch? Oh, this is the one where I think the tourbillon moves around also. Wow. Yeah, the tourbillon, I think, moves around. Yeah, look at that. How does that work? I think the tourbillon moves with the time zone, or how does it work? The tourbillon does something. You know, I thought this was like a $250,000 watch. .43 millimeter. Why is this not getting any respect? Look how thick that is. It's massive. Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is the watch. This is the watch we actually. I think we talked about this watch, but in a green dollar, the new version, which I think they only did in an edition of 5, if I'm not mistaken. They did 5 watches. It's not a big edition, and all of them are in Hong Kong. Oh, here's one in France. 2018. They don't tell you anything about it. No. You know, listen. The World Top. Yeah, you know, it's there's something about the tourbillon. I think when you have the tourbillon, it's kind of like, look, no, the Patek World Time is definitely a sex tourist watch. It is. Whereas, you know, the JLC is for. I think it's for a watch enthusiast. It's not a sex tourist watch. You know what it is? There's something about the JLC. It has a very I don't know, something about it is just unseemly. There's just something unseemly about it. Yeah, it's just wrong. Geophysique. Look at this. Okay, is this a limited edition or not? I gotta know this. because I think the rose gold was. Oof. Look at that. I think we're losing the punters. I think we're losing the punters going into JLC talk. JLC talk does not bring in the super chats. Okay, look at that. Edition of 28. Okay, there we're talking. Okay, so for 180 grand, you can get, you know, top of the, you know, yeah, just as rare as your Journe, but you're getting the tourbillon with, what are you getting here? Calendar. Is this a perpetual calendar? No. Wait a minute. It's a perpetual calendar? Where is, you got, okay, so where is, oh, I see. Okay, so the month is probably the star. Okay, that's probably what that is. What the hell is going? Well, I don't even know what's going on with this watch. Honestly, I don't know what the hell is going on. It looks like it's some sort of perpetual calendar, apparently. All right, that wraps it up. All right, gentlemen. Okay, bottom line is, I think to make a long story short, with Watch Eric, in the world of FP Journe, you know, for 300 grand, you know, it's probably, you know, if you can get a tourbillon for 200 grand, I think it's probably worth it. Even for 250 grand, it's probably worth it. Is it gonna be relevant in 10 years? I don't know. Yeah, there's something about the design. There's something about the design of FP Journe that's very similar to like Frank Mueller, in terms of they both have a certain look with, you know, that's kind of a little bit quaint and kitschy. They got that cutesy, quaint, kitschy type of look. And it didn't age well in the case of Frank Mueller. And I don't think it's going to age well for Journe. I think they both have that weak spot. I think they both have a weak spot in terms of the design. They both have, they look like a product of a certain time period, and not in a good way. In other words, they're doing something. They got like a retro thing happening. They're both doing like a retro type of look, which is not something you want to be doing if you're doing original design. If you're doing original design, you shouldn't be doing a retro look. So that's all I have to say. Yeah, that's my bottom line with FP Journe. I think it's the jury's out. The jury's out. I am neutral. I'm neutral on it. I'm not like super. I'm not saying it's a scam. I'm kind of neutral. I think there's definitely you know, room for, you know, some of it to go. Not the quartz stuff. The quartz stuff I think is obvious. The low end stuff I think is dead money. The low end stuff, the basic bitch models are like pure garbage. But, you know, if you're getting into like the tourbillons or whatever, I think that's kind of the, you know. If Watch Eric owns for more than 7 years, if he buys an FP Journe 7, yeah, you know, he's not, you know, that's the thing. He's not the FP Journe guy, right? I mean, he was talking about the quartz. That's the watch that he would buy, which is like the hype watch. Like that's, you know, very, very, yeah, I mean, that's kind of what you would expect almost. Stevie Wonder.
I don't know. Again, I think that the core-based clientele for FP Journe is a lot smarter than that. Now, that's not to say that in the last 5 years, especially with the weird run that happened in the watch world with COVID prices and all that, there's many people that have infiltrated the brand that they're really not about watches. They're just more about opportunities. Sure, it's going to be guys like that also kind of create some lift in the market. But these prices, I don't know. I don't see it. Maybe I'm wrong, which is why I want to open up the comments and see if anybody out there themselves have purchased any of these Elegantes at 100K, 70K, 80K. Guys, I think anywhere up to 50K, it's fair game. I mean, if you got the money and you want to spend it, spend it. I'm just really thinking, is FP Journe a bubble? I sat there and I went down the rabbit hole and read a bunch of different articles on this because, I've recently just become obsessed by this. I've already been trailing it for a while, but I really thought, what is going on here? I feel at times that the FP Journe situation right now is a combination of market manipulation, a bubble, and extreme scarcity. Yeah, I feel that it's becoming more popular. People want it. People want it.
Makes sense. Wow, look how good that actually looks pretty good. I mean, the colors are great. You got to give them credit. I think the colors that they use are it's very unique of all of the different watch brands. I mean, these guys really, they know. I mean, they pick really good colors. Generally speaking, like generally speaking, they have some pretty cool colors, which you can't say for Patek. Patek doesn't really do cool colors. I mean, they're very basic. Patek has just a couple of basic colors. That's it. Okay, you got your blue. You got your blue. Okay, you got a black dial. You got a white dial. And you got a green dial. Okay, great. That's it. That's the whole, and everybody else is the same way. These guys are going for like very interesting colors. I mean, that's and look how good that watch looks, seriously. I mean, the dial, I don't know what the fuck the watch does. The dial's like, it's nonsense. But kind of cool.
I had that exclusive watch. Same reason why for some, I think overpaid for my 1978 sub. Haven't seen another one like it. People want that exclusivity. There just isn't enough of them to go around, and people are holding on to them. Now, when I say bubble, let's be clear here. I don't ever foresee, ever, for the bubble to explode.
That's the problem.
I think there is. And for FP Journe to be worth anything. I don't foresee FP Journe to ever be a Frank Mueller or a Hublot or any one of those brands because...
Yeah, it makes sense.
Let's face it, they have the product. The product is there. The product is unique and the product is rare. But it could be a correction. I don't see how there can't be a correction in the Elegante at least. At least in the Elegante. I mean, at some point it has to happen. And if it doesn't, I will stand corrected. It just doesn't seem right. Like even Rolex, even the Daytona has corrected. And, I even thought it was insane when the Panda was 55K. I was like, are you kidding me? And when you see now a $17,000 retail watch go 6X, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
You know what I think also is I think the watch really is not going to age because, I mean, God, we're entering the age of robotics, of AI, humanoid robots, self-driving cars, rockets going to Mars. And you got a watch that looks like it's from the 19th century. And, I don't know. Like, I don't see it staying relevant. It just doesn't have a timeless classical look. That's the big issue. That's my real issue with this thing.
And sleep all the way down, deeper.
What kind of odds am I?
You have that friend that seems as though no matter.
Now I can sit there and bounce around all these ideas and thoughts, but the reality is that Journe has something that not too many other brands have right now. And it's technical brilliance, limited supply, and brand narrative. They really are running it up right now, and the following is growing. But keep in mind,
listen, I gotta say, Stevie Wonder nails it. I mean, I think he's completely right. I agree with everything he's saying. I really, that's the whole point. What's interesting? It's funny. I actually like that watch a lot, the 5140, the chocolate dial. I think I did see it in person once, but when I saw it, I think I saw it when Patek had that exhibit in New York, when they did that, they had that exhibit at Cipriani. They had that, I think they were there for 2 weeks. They had the museum, whatever they call it. But the Patek exhibit, I think this was 2017, if I recall correctly. I think it was 2017. And I think I saw it there. And I thought that was very cool at the time. I've been looking at it. There's a couple of them listed on Chrono. It seems like they're all in Hong Kong and they're all naked, no box, no papers. Which is like, what's going on? Like the buyers of that watch don't manage to hang on to the box and papers and the pusher, and they don't keep that. Something is what is that all about? Is it like, are these watches basically like bought by Chinese who they bought them, I don't know, somewhere else, and they threw away the box and papers when they took them into China because they wore the watch so they wouldn't pay duties? I think that's what happens, right? But I mean, like, why is there like a dozen of the 5140s listed on Chrono, and they're all in Hong Kong? Somebody needs to explain to me, because I think it's a cool watch, and the prices are dropping. I mean, if it gets to like 35 grand, I might pull the trigger for 35 grand. Because I mean, you're getting bang for the buck. I love that brown color, bronze, chocolate, whatever you want to call it. I really love that. It's like a very warm color. Patek. What is the 5224? What is the 50? What is that? Oh shit. Come on. 5224. 5224. This is the watch you're talking about. I don't know. This, with the syringe hands, the whole like, I don't, this thing doesn't work for me. The blue and the rose gold and the white, it's just something about it. It doesn't work. Something about it is off. I think the way they do the blue and the rose gold together, the way Patek does it, just doesn't work. I don't know. I don't know why. It's like you get the cool and it's something. Nah, I would say this is a hard pass for me. Let's look at the 5140. The 5140s have been dropping in price, and they're, there you go, 36 grand. Cool watch. I mean, I don't know. I'd rather have this than any FP Journe. Look at that. Yeah, it's 38 millimeters. It's, yeah. Are you talking about which one? Are you talking about the 5140? Or you're talking about the 5224? You're talking about the 5224, I think, right? Oh, yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah. That watch is 50 grand. That's crazy. It's a time-only watch with, goofy syringe hands. It's like some vague retro look. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Interesting. I don't know. Okay, we got Patek enthusiasts. We got new people in the audience. We haven't seen these people. Where are these guys from? Are these refugees? Is Unpaved and Winterist, are these refugees from Tromostan and Bukyakistan or Kakistan? Because we know that one of the channels, we know that the certain gentleman wearing size 7 Skechers, he said he would boycott, he would ban people if they came on our channel. That's right. He would ban people. He would throw them out of his sassy watch meetups and off his sassy WhatsApp group if they were seen on our channel. That's right. I think these two people might be refugees from Tromostan. Okay, so I'm curious. What do you guys think? Do you think this model? Do you think this one has upside potential? Like, yeah, because the 3940s have gone up. Is this why it seems like nobody likes the 5140, or is it that they don't like the chocolate doll? Because this is the cheapest the chocolates are always at the bottom of the barrel. Look at this. The chocolates are always the cheapest ones. Why is that? Like, what is that? Is that like a racist type of thing or something? That, you know, they want the white faces but not the brown faces? Is that, you think watch collectors are racist? Is that what's going on? Why are these chocolate dials cheap? And why, and here's my other question, why are all of them no box, no papers, and all of them are in Hong Kong? Is it one guy running the same ad, or is it a bunch of different guys? And why, how come none of them have box and papers? Like, what? And again, these are new watches. These are, you know, relatively speaking, you know, these are, you know, 10 years old, whatever it is. It's not like, you know, 50. It's not like from 30 years ago and people didn't keep it. Ah, unpaved. Okay, big time. Okay, you're saying the 3940 peaked? Interesting. Because yeah, I've been thinking, like, I actually been thinking, should I sell my 3940? Because, you know, the prices are, I mean, I think they're going to keep going. Honestly, I think they're going to keep going. To be honest with you, I think they're going to keep going up. But I do like, I mean, I like this chocolate dial better than my G, than the top of G, because I just like a warmer dial, like the white dial with the gold. It's a little cool. And I like the warmer dial. I get it. Some people say that they don't like the way the numbers are. They're saying that they're not symmetrical or some bullshit like that. Here's, you know, my issue with it is that, like, it's much easier for me to read these numbers, the white on dark background. So visually, actually, the watch is more honestly, like, the watch is more practical because, you know, listen, how shall we say? You know, we're getting a little bit older. You know, harder to read up close in the dark. You know, it's you know, you got to get the flashlight out to read the restaurant menu. You know, and this watch is easier to read. And they're saying that they don't like the way these numbers are compressed, the 5 and the 27. That's what the purists are saying, that they're saying that whatever. But do you think, in other words, the question is this: would you sell 3940 and buy this? In other words, swap out and get into this? Because that's what I was thinking of doing. No, come on, get out of here. Russian sanctions. What is the market? You're saying, are you making a joke? Are you making a joke, or are you saying that who is the market? Who is the buyer for the 5140? Who is the buyer? I've actually never seen one in the wild. White and rose. That okay. I'm completely no. I can't. No, I don't like the white dial version of this. I think it's just dead. It looks flat. It looks flat. Yeah, there's no, like, I don't know. It's not opaline. Oh, okay. No, somebody explain to me, how is it possible that somebody buys a Patek Philippe and does not keep the box and papers? Who are these people? Like, seriously, like, what is it? Is it, and would you buy that? Would you buy a naked Patek? I mean, because, you know, with Patek, it's a little bit different, especially modern Patek. This is modern Patek. I kind of feel that a modern Patek has to really come with box and papers. Yeah. You know, nah, the tourbillon, like, tourbillon does nothing for me. It really does nothing. I would think, you know what? I'll tell you what, though. If I sold the 3940, I would buy this 5140. I'd buy this, and you know what? And a Rolex day-date meteorite dial, the white gold, you know, the day-date 40 meteorite dial. I'm thinking that's the move. That's the move. I mean, it's kind of like, you know, and that's actually much more practical. But then I'm thinking to myself, shit, you know, it's just, I really do believe that the 3940 is going to hit like, you know, the 150s, like for sure the 3940G, I think it's going to hit maybe 200 grand. Is that crazy? Do you think that's crazy? 200 grand in the next 5 years? I think there's going to be an explosion for the 3940. I think because that's the blue chip. That's the blue chip of Patek. I mean, that's, you know, that's what they're known for. Perpetual calendar, elegant. That's like the, you know, that's Philippe Stern's watch. Oh, yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah, white. Okay. Yeah. I love this watch, really. Oh, the month is rose gold. What? Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, this guy pays a lot of attention to the details. Okay, right. Oh, I see. Yeah. So, okay. The leap year thing is white, and the month arrow is gold. Okay, and just like over here, you got the 24-hour indicator is white. Yeah, that's cool. No, I think I love this watch. I really do. I'm just my only concern is, okay, if I make the swap, am I going to feel like an idiot when the 3940 goes to 200 grand? I feel like I should I feel like I should stay with the trend, you know. That's kind of my take on it. But aesthetically, I actually like this better. And I actually, you know what, I'll tell you something else. I actually like the fact that these numbers are like compressed or whatever they call them, squished in. I don't know, that's the word people use. I think that's interesting. I think it's kind of interesting. It's not, you know, the thing is this, it's not, you know, the 3940 is a much cleaner design. It's definitely more timeless. There's a subtle nuance. There's definitely a nuance. And the Patek people, you know, they're all about the nuance. You know, there's guys who like a certain version. They like the second generation, third generation, blah, blah, blah. And then you got, oh, what about this? What about the blue dial, the platinum? What about this? How about them apples? The blue dial, it's a sunburst dial. I just have, like, I already have enough blue dial watches. But I mean, shit. 49 grand for a platinum perpetual? In theory, if I sold my 3940, I could buy this and the rose gold. I mean, I could have two watches basically. And yeah, that's kind of the reality of it. It's like, does that make any sense? For the price of 1/3, you know, for the, I'm exaggerating because obviously, you know, the selling price is not going to be, you know, the full thing, blah, 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 you know, slippage. It's funny. That's funny. What do you think is better, the blue dial or the chocolate? The thing with the chocolate, here's the thing with the chocolate. I think the chocolate is a little bit of a fashion type of watch. You know, it's it's not I wouldn't call it timeless. It's kind of like, you know, season, you know, it goes in and out, whereas white dial or blue dial is pretty much timeless. Whereas the chocolate has a certain, you know, I'm not sure how well the chocolate will age, you know? How well, look at that picture. I mean, the picture looks amazing. The The picture looks better than the watch. Shit, stunning. So what is the deal, guys? Do you guys have any insight into why they have no box and papers? I got to wrap it up. We're going to be wrapping up, so hopefully we get some answers. Does anybody in the audience know why all the watches in Hong Kong have no box and papers? All the Pateks, no box papers. How is that possible? For new watches, these are relatively new watches, modern watches. Oh yeah, but there's a big difference. 48 grand versus 36 grand. So it's 10 grand. $10,000 for box and papers extra. Pretty funny. All right, gentlemen. Thank you everybody for joining. We'll see you all on the next one. When? Who knows? Who knows? We're not doing these regularly. It might be, who knows what. Oh, look at this. There we go. Look at that. A lot of doubters. A lot of doubters. Skepticism reigns without the papers. It is what it is. All right, guys. See you on the next one. Thank you again.